Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to talk about polygamy. Polygamy is not a curse word. Okay, I'll say that again. Polygamy is not a curse word. And the reason I'm making this video is because of how the women in our ummah are really acting and reacting to this word. Whether it be a sister who's already married and her husband is thinking about another wife, or it be a single sister and some brother approaches her for polygamy purposes. It's not a curse word, okay? A few facts that need to be out there is, number one, by nature men are polygamous, okay? Unless a brother has got come out of it, he has different missions in his life, and he really just cannot fulfill too many obligations, so he may stick to one wife or whatever. That's different. But generally speaking, men are polygamous. That's one of the reasons, even wherein there is this fake image on the outside that this man only has one wife. He be cheating around, he be watching porn and things like that, because that's a thing in men, okay? Now, with the sisters in the ummah, the real issue, if you look at it from the depth, is them defining their worth based off of their marriage, okay? Their marital status or their marriage. This is a big subject in and of itself. However, if a brother reaches out to you for polygamy, please remember he is not reaching out to you for zina. It's very important to remember that part. If a man is saying to his wife, I want another wife, please understand he's not saying he wants another girlfriend. He's saying another wife. And for men here, because from my personal experience, yes, many men are craving polygamy, but the only part in it that apparently they can see is they will have another partner for sexual intimacy. They are somehow blind to the fact that they have to take full-on responsibility of the woman that they marry, whether it be her second wife, his second wife, third wife, or fourth wife, okay? He cannot be like, okay, I have a house and everything set up with my first wife, and I want a side chick, a halal side chick. That's not Islamic dynamic. You have to do equally everything for both the households if you take another wife. And if you are not capable of doing it, automatically you disqualify for polygamy. You are out of the picture. You are just doing something that will cause more dhulm, and you should not do it, okay? This is my point to the brothers. And as far as sisters, polygamy was there even before Islam came, okay? Islam limited it. And instead of men having many women and sleeping around, Allah said, you can only have sexual relationships within the boundaries of marriage, and you can maximum have 4 women at a time, and you must give everybody their rights, and the rights are listed and everything. And in a way, Allah has protected women. Polygamy is not to serve men, it is to protect women. We know for a fact, due to wars, due to different situations, many men pass away. Maybe nowadays this is not the reality for those of us living in America, so we can't understand, but in Palestine and everything, we know men are dying, okay? And with that said, a lot of the women, young and old, are left without husbands. And then there is the dynamics of sisters that are not necessarily for one reason or other getting married when they're young, so they reach an older age, they are also single. Subhanallah, may Allah bless our sisters. And then there are sisters who get divorced because they ended up in an incompatible situation. So whatever the case be, so women are being left without husbands. And a husband in a woman's life is more than just money, because I've also heard some sisters say, Why can't he just start paying her bills as a form of sadaqah or zakat? If a sister only needs financial help, a sister who is on her own doesn't only need financial help. She needs a man in her life, because when a woman is on her own, for most part, our society, our men act like dog around her. Okay, and I'm being as blunt as I can. So a woman needs a man in her life so that other men know she has a man. With that said, that man needs to do right by her. That's where Islam comes in the picture, that you can't just marry women, you have to do right by them. And as Muslims, whether we are first, second, third, or whatever number, right? Because numbers really don't matter in that case, wife, we need to understand that we should want for our sisters what we want for ourselves. And if the thought of him having another wife is causing a lot of issues in us, that has a lot to do with our attachment to that human being. That has a lot to do with how we have been raised, with all this Bollywood dynamic. That has a lot to do with, maybe, because I've heard this a lot from the sisters, their complaint really isn't that the man is going for second wife. The complaint really is that the man isn't doing right by me, and I was already just holding on to it for my kids' sake, and now he's also wanting to do another wife. Like, okay, he wasn't paying my bills, but I was like, okay, fine, he can't, it's fine, I'll take care of it. But now he wants another wife and wants to pay her bills. Or like, for example, a man is not fulfilling his wife's sexual rights, but now he wants another wife. Like, those are the issues wherein sisters are like, okay, so you ain't doing right by me, but you want another one. So that's something to think about. And please realize, if you got issues like that in the marriage, then don't make it an issue about polygamy. Acknowledge that that's the issue you have with the man, and that needs fixing in the marriage. Because polygamy is something that Allah has allowed for the protection of women. It's for the sake of the women, not for the men. Because the way we are fighting, unfortunately, the way women are fighting for monogamy, it is only leading to the advantage of the men. Because a man would prefer a dynamic wherein he just has to pay the bills for one household. He's responsible for one household. He only can have kids with one wife, and rest, because of whatever situation, his wife is giving him a hard time, whatever, he cannot have another wife, so he will go ahead and do haram. Yes, he will have to bear the burden of the haram, but that's way easier for him, because he can do whatever the hell he wants in this dunya. But what about the sisters? Because I know a lot of single moms that hate the idea of polygamy, and I am just like, what's up? Because it's like, just for the sake of humor, just think about it. A man who is divorced is like a guy who couldn't keep a job. He was fired, okay? Do we want him, or do we want the one who is actually in a good standing in his job? Just something to think about. I know it sounds a crazy example, but like, a man who is holding his fort is showing you already that he's in a good place. Now, here's the thing. Before anybody jumps into polygamy ever, you need to first figure out, or for even any relationship, you need to figure out what your needs are, your personal needs. What are you seeking in a marriage? And then see, for that, do you need a monogamous relationship or polygamous relationship? And then go from there. And number two, please realize that your worth is with your relationship with Allah, not with whether your husband has another wife or not, or if you have a man to yourself or not. I have heard a sister say that, am I not good enough to have a man to myself? He's not a chocolate, okay? He's not a, like, the reason Allah has given us these relationships is to facilitate our life in a manner that we can worship Him better. That's the goal, ultimate goal, is to worship Him. So look at marriage like that. Just something to think about, guys. Polygamy is not a curse word. And work on your self-worth, seriously, because Allah is on our side.